All right.
Good morning, good afternoon. Good to see everybody. Thanks for joining us today. My name's Gina Callender, and I'm currently working at McCann. Really excited. I have some of my team here today, so that's pretty awesome. And Rosalind.
My name is Rossalyn Quaye, and I work at Con Edison. And I'm seeing many people from the Friday Pause to Meditate group and some friends as well, family. So welcome in. Thank you all for joining us. Do maybe should we do a bit more background on ourselves?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give the quick intro. By way of background, professionally, I have a multidisciplinary background in engineering, law, and finance. And I've worked in those different areas between Con Edison and National Grid. I have about 11 years in the industry at this point. Now, with respect to the practice of yoga, I started practicing the physical practice about 20 years ago when I was a student at Ailey. And I thought it was great exercise. And a lot of the poses reminded me of dance, like Horton technique. So I enjoyed it. Over time, though, I came to understand that yoga is a whole system and explored different aspects of the practice and felt called to teach. I think it first felt called in 2019, but then became certified in 2021. So that's a bit about me, and we'll give more of our stories about our relationship with the practice of yoga and meditation, mindfulness in a bit. But Gina, I'll hand it to you to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. By background, I'm a civil engineer. I also have my MBA and a project manager, and started my career at Con Edison. I was there for 22 years in gas, in electric, and substations, in all different types of things: engineering, construction, planning, strategy. Um, and then I actually left the company and I went to Ford Motor Company. So I have one of my former Ford colleagues here, and took a pivot in my career and actually went into the DEI space. So diversity, equity, inclusion, was building strategy, events, and networking to build a better culture and well-being for the organization. And then I recently just pivoted again. So now I'm at McCann. Director of project delivery, doing project management, and also helping to bring some of this well-being into the workplace there. So really excited about being here with all of you. And I'm also a certified yoga and meditation teacher. I've been practicing probably about 25 years. The yoga practice, meditation, maybe about 10 years now, and teaching for a little over 10 years. So really excited to build the practice, but then also share it, really enthusiastic about sharing it with others and hopefully sharing it with you today. And yeah, really excited to be here with all of you.
Right, fantastic. I'm going to share our plan for today. Okay, can you see that?
Yep.
All right. So here's what we're thinking in terms of our plan for our time together. We just did introductions. Gina's going to lead us through a grounding practice, and then we'll share more of our stories about our relationship with the practice of yoga. Then I'll guide a breathing practice, and then we'll get into the benefits and give you some practical tips about how to incorporate mindfulness and meditation into your daily lives. And then we'll have Q&A. All right,
Yeah,
so little bites of things for you to experience with us and plenty of time for questions at the end.
definitely. Okay. So for this grounding practice, I want you to sit on the edge of your chair and make sure that both feet are firmly planted on the ground. so that you can feel the stability of the earth beneath you. We're going to do just a couple of stretches just to kind of open us up, especially we've been sitting at our desks for the last couple of hours, and then we'll do the grounding practice. So just inhale and reach your arms up overhead. You're going to take one hand, lift the wrist, and you're going to side bend. You're getting a little bit of a stretch in your sideways, and you're breathing here. You can wiggle your fingers if that feels good to you. Exhale, come back up to center, and then change sides. Lift the opposite wrist, and then side bend now to the other side. Again, feeling that stretch all the way down into your hip. Slowly come back to center. Inhale. Exhale, you're now going to twist to one side. If you can, you're going to look over your shoulder. Otherwise, you're just going to twist as much as you can. You're not going to lean forward. You're sitting up tall, and you're just going to gently twist. Come back to center. And as you exhale, let's twist to the other side. Don't force anything or push anything. You're just very gently twisting. Slowly come back up to center. Release your arms back by your sides. Let's just roll the shoulders up and back. We get a little bit of rotation in the shoulders, maybe just feeling a little bit of stretch in the upper back and the shoulders as well. And then coming to center, let's just do ear to shoulder, chin to chest, ear to shoulder, chin to chest. And we're just doing a few half circles. Allow your head to be heavy so you can get a little bit of a stretch in your neck. And then when you're ready, you're just going to gently come back to center. And then we're going to do something called Bu Mudra. Bu Mudra. So you're going to take your hands as like little peace signs. And then you're going to take those fingers and you're going to press them either into your knees or on the arms of your chair, but you're just feeling the pressure of your fingers on something firm. If you were sitting on the floor, your hand would be touching the earth. So Bu means earth. And so this helps to connect your body to something stable. If it feels comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. If not, you can have your eyes open. Just have your eyes looking a little bit forward and down towards the floor. Sitting up tall, just bring your awareness to your breath. And just notice the sensation of your fingertips touching whatever it is pressed on, whether that be your desk or your arm of your chair or your legs. But feel that sensation of the fingers pressing down into something stable. As you breathe here, just imagine the stability of the earth. And as you connect to your breath, start to just notice how your breath feels in your body. Notice if you're breathing very shallowly in your chest, or notice if it's deeper into the belly. Notice the pace of your breath. If you're breathing very quickly, or if you're breathing a little bit slower now that you're paying attention to the breath. Just notice. We're going to take 3 more breaths just like that, inhaling and exhaling full breaths. And perhaps as you exhale, you can release a little bit of tightness, a little bit of tension that you might have been holding on to. Notice how your body's feeling. If you have a space that's especially tight or tense, perhaps you can put a little bit of your awareness into that space so that you can gently try to release a little bit of it as you breathe. And when you're ready, you can slowly blink, open your eyes, and come back into the room with all of us. Thank you. So I think we're next going to go into my story, and then we'll go into Rosalyn's story, and then Rosalind will do another practice.
Yeah.
So
Cute little picture.
yeah, it is a cute little picture. So, I found yoga originally when I was in college. Studying engineering, 22 credits a semester, it was a lot of work, right? When you think about, how lax things were in high school, relatively speaking, compared to college. And it was a lot of pressure and it was a lot of stress. And I was doing the physical yoga practice as a way to relieve that stress. And I could feel that in my body when I practiced. I felt lighter. I felt more relieved. I felt more flexible. And I felt more resilient. And that was a practice that I came to and went away from over the years. And then it became more serious and more important to me. I want to say it was 2003 or 2004. I was working an engineering construction job, and it was high pressure. There's a lot on the line, right? Because at Con Edison, you're working with high pressure gas mains or high pressure voltage. And I was a little stressed out. And I knew that I was stressed out because the doctor told me, Gina, your blood pressure is 205 over 175. And
Ooh.
if it continues to be that way, you're going to have a stroke and possibly die before you're 30. So this is in my early 20s. And so I was taking blood pressure medication. I was on one, then I was on two. Um, and I was doing diet and exercise. And really, the secret sauce for me was, maintaining diet and exercise, good, cardiovascular health, trying to do 30 minutes of cardio 3 times a week minimum. But it wasn't until I was having a regular meditation and yoga practice that those numbers came down. My blood pressure came down, and I went from two medications to one. And so a little bit later, we'll talk a little bit about the benefits of a meditation practice. And like, this is like not a joke. This is like living, breathing. This is real life. This is super important for your health. Everyone is working these really stressful jobs. It's go, 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 go. But taking a moment to pause, to reflect how you're feeling in your body, and your body manifests stress in different ways, right? It's not the same for everybody. Some people have a migraine. Some people have an upset stomach. Some people have joint pain. Like, it literally can look like anything for different people, right? Some people are like, oh, I have rheumatoid arthritis, right? That stress can manifest its way into different things, and it's individual to each person. But a yoga and meditation practice can help. I'm not saying it's going to reverse all of your symptoms, but having a practice helps to regulate various things in your body. And the stress, once you release the stress, and some of these things that you've been having happen in your life can seem to almost disappear. And so um, I believe in it. I think it's super important. I know that if I skip a day or two, I can feel it and I need to come back to it. And I just, you bounce back into it. It's like riding a bike, right? You just come back to it and it feels good. And it doesn't have to be a lot, right? Some people think it has to be, I got to sit still for like 2 hours a day and, meditate in the quiet in the woods. Yes, if we were monks, we would be doing that for 12 hours a day, and that'd be a really stellar life. But the reality is that people are working and they have lots of responsibilities, but you could take 5 or 10 minutes for this practice for yourself to start to build the practice and create the calm for yourself, right? It's not someone doing something for you, it's you doing something for yourself. So that is the story that I would like to share with you, and I will pass it over to Rosalind to share her story.
That's really powerful, Gina. Thank you. And I so resonate with that. If you don't practice a day or two, I am the same way now. I can feel a difference. I had mentioned earlier that I started practicing yoga thinking, oh, this is good exercise. But
Yeah.
then that was, as a dancer, and I was like, okay, am I going to ballet class or am I going to yoga? I saw them as interchangeable, but when I started working in corporate is when I really started to dive deeper into the holistic benefit for my mind, body, and spirit of yoga practice. What was a turning point for me was in spring of 2017. I started, I was working at National Grid at the time, and I was at the Brooklyn office in Metro Tech. I changed locations and started working on Long Island in Melville.
Mhm.
So I was
Mhm.
driving 35 miles each way, which took a minimum of an hour, and it could be more depending on traffic.
Mhm.
And I know, many people here might be completely blissed out and chill during your commute, but I was not. So, that was a change after having been able to just take the subway to Brooklyn for a couple of years now, driving to work, to and from work. Additionally, I was starting this new role. I was moving from finance to gas engineering. And although I'm an engineer by training, and I didn't tell you all which disciplines, but I had double majored in chemical engineering and material science and engineering. So pipes and fittings, we get that theoretically, but I had not practiced as an engineer. And I hadn't worked in operations either at that point in my career in the energy space. So I had put a lot of pressure on myself in this new role. I was the only woman, like the only female engineering manager in the building. And I was the only Black woman engineering manager in all of US gas engineering. And so I felt like I had to show up well. Pressure I put on myself. But then the person who had my role for 7 years prior to me taking on the role, who was originally supposed to be my peer, became my acting director because our director was moved to a special project shortly after I joined the department. So there was this tension already from the start in our relationship with this, my acting director. And, he had told me that there was a perception that my group, which was the public works group, wasn't as valuable as the rest of the groups within project engineering and design, which was our overarching group. My engineers handled communication and coordination with municipalities, and on their public works projects, these would, be resurfacing or bridges and that kind of thing. And they negotiated design changes as needed and the support and protection requirements during construction. But other parts of the department were designing long lead time projects like transmission main, regulator station upgrades or installs. And so this acting director had continued with this narrative about the difference in value of our work, which wasn't helpful for my confidence, of course. And then also questioned my judgment when I started to question why certain things were done in a certain way. And I would like wake up in the middle of the night replaying conversations, like criticizing myself for not saying what I could have or should have. I would drive to work feeling a pit in my stomach. And we
Mhm.
heard Gina just tell us that stress manifests in so many different ways. And for me,
Mhm.
it's upset stomach, something that I experienced. And then I would be sitting at my cubicle in the morning and, you come in and people are like, hey, how was your weekend? And that kind of thing. And I would hear his voice and if it was like coming toward me and my like shoulders started to tense up, wondering like, what is he going to say?
Mhm.
This morning, what's coming. And so I started that role in the spring. By November, out of desperation, looking for a solution to like calm myself, I started meditating. And I started with 5 minutes a day. in the morning before I started to shower and get ready for work. And I was using the app called Insight Timer, which has a lot of free content on it. And then my weekday morning practice then started becoming a weekend practice as well. And then 5 minutes turned into 10 minutes and it evolved from there. And so now I'm hooked. So in addition to the physical practice of yoga, I'm also meditating, and I also have the certification in pranayama breathing techniques. So I'm practicing some form, right, some aspect of the system every single day. And I love it. Now, in case anybody's wondering, that situation with the superior of mine resolved when I ended up speaking to my VP about him after he blew up at me in a conference room. And then he just chose to stop speaking to me unless he absolutely needed to, but that was fine with me. I preferred that. So, then I ended up moving into a different role as a result of a reorg.
Mm.
But I would say the lessons that I learned from that situation and the deepening of my relationship with my yoga practice and the gifts that came from that difficult situation were definitely worth it. So now, I'm able to like live with equanimity. It's like my favorite word. If you're not familiar, it means that you never get too high or too low. Right?
Mm-hmm,
You're even
mm-hmm,
keeled.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
generally have a pretty good outlook on things, and that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this yoga with other people, because it is indeed life-changing, as Gina has shared, and now I'll just share with you as well.
Yeah. And I think that, Rosalind, it creates this resiliency that we all need in order to sustain and overcome the stress that we deal with every single day, right? Because you have pressures from work, you have pressures from home, you have pressures from, what other activities that you do or have a responsibility to, right? It's a way of you like creating space so that you're able to fully show up and be focused in the moment whenever you are doing whatever task that you're doing, work, personal, or what have you.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess, should we pause and see if anybody has
Sure.
comments
Does anyone
or?
have any questions for either of us before we keep going? Maybe a question that you've had in the past that you didn't know who you could ask this question to as it pertains to yoga or meditation or both, mindfulness.
Hey, Gina. Hey, Rosalind. Quick
Yeah.
question. So I guess I've tried it before, and I guess my biggest hurdle is keeping your mind in the moment, not letting your
Mm-hmm.
mind wander when you're
Mm-hmm.
meditating. Do you have any
Mm-hmm.
suggestions or advice to how to stay in the moment of what you're doing
Yeah.
versus thinking about the 6 million other things?
So here's the thing, Cheryl. It's completely normal and natural for your mind to continue to wander. The more that you practice, in the moment that you're noticed that your mind is wandering, that is the practice. And you bring it back to the present moment. And you'll do that again and again and again. And the more you meditate, that the it'll happen less frequently, right? Because you'll stay in the present moment more and more because you're just being very aware and very open to the practice. But in the beginning, it's like you're in it, and like a nanosecond later, you're out. And then you're in it, and then 3 seconds later, you're out. And it's like that is just the practice. And you just have to all I could say is keep going. There's no like silver bullet. You just
Okay,
have to just keep trying. And then eventually it'll get easier and easier and easier.
great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
I had a question, sorry, about what you
Sure.
guys mentioned about your health issues that you were
Mm-hmm.
having. When
Mm-hmm.
you started the yoga, did it take time to get rid of those issues, or how did the yoga affect your blood pressure and your stomach
I would
issues?
say for me, for my blood pressure, I had a sustained weekly practice 3 to 4 times a week for a good 3, 4 months. And then because I used to track my blood pressure daily, I tracked it daily. And then I noticed it was gradually getting lower and lower and lower and lower. And then I think it kind of like tapered off at 4 months. I had a follow-up appointment with my doctor, and he's like, "Oh, you don't need to be on these two anymore. Let's take you off this one and let's just have you on one." And I've been on one medication now almost 35 years, only on one. And it's a very, very low dosage.
Great.
Yeah.
I wanted to add to your response to Cheryl. The thing is, Cheryl, even after practicing many years, there's still some days when my mind is all over the place. It just
Yep.
depends on what's happening in life and many different factors. But as Gina mentioned, the practice is in coming back to the moment, like kind of, it's like, I think of it like wrestling, right? You're like, the mind is going to think. That's what it does. It's very active, but it's up to you to take control of it and help it focus. That is the practice.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for your questions.
So let's go into the breathing practice. Oh, we have one more in the chat.
Oh.
What do you all suggest when coworkers don't respect your space and you don't have a place to take a few minutes to practice meditation?
So that's a great question. It just so happens that at McCann there is a wellness room, and you could actually leave your desk and go sit in the wellness room for 5 or 10 minutes and take a breath and then come back to your desk. If you don't have that availability to you, Charlotte, you could, leave your desk. And I sometimes take calls walking around the block. You can just not take a call, just walk around the block, like leave your space. Or even if you're in an office building, leave your desk, walk to someplace away from where you are, because sometimes you can't control your environment, and you have to create the space that you need to be productive and to give yourself the time that it needs to kind of recoup or yeah. But sometimes you just need to step away. So I would recommend, like, if you were working somewhere and you drove there, go to sit in your car for 5 minutes and just, sometimes you just need peace and quiet, and you don't want to hear all the chatter, So it depends. I don't know, Rosalind, if you want to add anything.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to open it up to see if anybody else who's been a part of the Friday sessions has suggestions as well, because many of us are working in an open concept space, but somehow you find a way to always jump on. So
I have something, Rosalind. It's Priscilla.
go ahead, Priscilla.
I actually schedule a break on my calendar. I put it in just like a meeting, and I stick to it, and I take that time for myself.
That's great.
Wonderful.
It's a great suggestion. Anyone else have anything they want to share? Things that they've done?
Yeah, I mean, and in addition to scheduling time on the calendar, when I'm guiding the session, I'll schedule a conference room. So even if it's just me, I have a quiet space. And if other people want to come and join me in practice, they're welcome to, but at least know I have that controlled environment for the 25 minutes that I'm on the call.
Mm-hmm. That's a great recommendation.
Yeah.
That's good, Jonathan. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sit in the park or by water. Honestly, I love being near water. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the sound of like the ocean hitting like the beach, or if it's a lake. It's just, there are just natural sounds in nature near water. For me, it's very like calming and very like peaceful. So yeah, that's a great idea. If you have that, that's accessible to you. We come from water. We're 97% water, aren't we? Our bodies.
It's high. I don't know about 97, but it's definitely high.
It's definitely high. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
I love that crowdsourced answer.
Yeah.
All right. So another cute picture for you. We're going to move into our breathing practice. All right. So in thinking about what to prepare for the group, we thought it would be good to share box breathing with you. Samavriti is its Sanskrit name, which is a contraction of sama, which is same, and vritti, which is flow or wave or mental fluctuations. And so what we're doing is helping to create an evenness in the breath and by association in the mind. Before we get into this practice, I'll mention that if you are pregnant or are dealing with like very low or very high blood pressure, you want to be, you may want to just breathe in and out while we do this practice, because it does involve, the way it works is we'll inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, and hold the breath out for 4 counts. And so if you, I'll also mention if you feel that you're unable to comfortably hold the breath at any point, then you can absolutely just go ahead and move to the inhale or exhale, whatever point we're at. You should never force anything with pranayama breathing. It defeats the purpose, right? The point is to calm the nervous system. And if you hold the breath when the body is ready to breathe, it's not, that is not calming. All right. So this one is also good for laying a foundation for other, learning other pranayama practices. So let's get into it. You'll sit up tall in your chair. Once again, feet flat. Rest your palms gently on your thighs. And then if you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. Otherwise, just lower your gaze. Relax your face. Allow your weight to be heavy in your chair. Feel your sit bones in your chair. Relax your shoulders. And so let's do 8 breaths like this together. Exhale all the air out. And let's inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath in. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Expanding your rib cage. Hold your breath in. 3, 4. Exhale. Nice and even. Gradually. Hold your breath out. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Hold. Exhale through your nose. Hold your breath out. Inhale. Fill your lungs. Hold your breath. Imagine that fresh air moving all around your body. Exhale. Hold your breath out. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Breathe to the bottom of your lungs and hold your breath. Exhale. Hold the breath out. 2. Let's take one more. Inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. All the air out. Exhale, 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 exhale. Hold. Now let go of that pattern. Take a few breaths just back at your normal breathing pattern. Allow your body to take over the wheel once again. Take another moment to invite calm into your body. Feel your hands heavy on your thighs. Relax your legs and feet. Relax your shoulders once again. And then go ahead and gently blink your eyes open. Well done,
Thanks,
everybody.
Rossalyn.
You're welcome. I took a look at the time and I said, okay, let's keep going. Thanks for the
Yeah, we
heart.
can. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Rosalind. So we have now just a few tips to share with you. I know everyone has like a super busy day, so we want to leave you with some of the benefits and some of the tips.
So
Yeah,
now with the benefits, wait, is this me? Am I doing the benefits or you?
doesn't matter.
Okay. With the benefits here, I mean, you can see we've listed so many. Some of these we've talked about, but I mean, we could even list more. And so if you hadn't already guessed that, I mean, there's so many ways that this practice can help you, right? Practice of yoga, of cultivating mindfulness in your life. We've laid it out here in black and white. So of course, there's the ability to manage and reduce your stress. And I won't go into a whole lot of detail here, but practicing meditation, mindfulness, it does actually change your brain, like the structure of your brain. So you can think of it like mental resistance training. Same way we would go lift weights for bigger biceps. Your daily consistent practice helps you change your brain over time. So that you are then able to, control anxiety, have control over your emotions, and being able to be more responsive and less reactive in your life. Develops your self-awareness so that you can recognize the patterns that you engage in a situation where you are experiencing stress or some stimulus that might set you off. You're in control of how you deal with it. It helps lengthen your attention span, and we know there are so many things in our society that are designed to grab our attention. All the devices we have, work computer, personal, cell phones, social media, all of it, so many things. And so practicing mindfulness and meditation is almost like a revolutionary act, really taking back your power to control your attention and your focus. We talked about, I just mentioned, it changes the brain. So it does indeed help with maintaining your brain health and function over time to counteract aging. Generating kindness. This is a good one. I mean, as you practice meditation, you learn how to be more compassionate with yourself, and you're able to in turn give that to others. Can help us fight addictions. Something else that is a physiological situation, but definitely related to our brain function. Helps you get better sleep if you're more chill. Of course, you can fall asleep more easily and stay asleep through the night. We talked about pain and blood pressure. I don't know if we explicitly talked about pain, but I've experienced, have had people tell me who participated in our sessions, and Gina, I'm sure you've had the same people say, oh, when I came in, my back was hurting and now I feel better, without the use of a Tylenol or Advil.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then decreased blood pressure, Gina gave her testimonial about that. And as we discussed too, via the Q&A, so thank you all for teeing that up. You can meditate anywhere. So it's available to us. It's great if you can meditate with a guy like one of us, but you can do it anywhere at any time. It's not required. All right. Anything else you want to add, Gina?
No, I think you covered it. I think that, as we said, there's probably other things here. I think if you start the practice, you might notice things, and your ability to kind of take something and just like it helping you in some way. Like you don't even know sometimes these practices, they are tools for you to have in your toolbox. And you might not even think that you need it, but at somewhere down the road, something happens, and because you've been practicing and you have it creates that resilience that you can bounce back and you can, take control of the situation. You have the focus to do what you need to do, and it really can help you in ways that you don't even know. It hasn't even been expressed yet because you have to start and you have to try, and then you'll see the benefit for yourself.
Yeah,
I think it speaks for itself, honestly.
yes. All right, now let's go to.
Yeah, so some practical tips. Honestly, just starting and doing it 5 minutes a day, you will see results, I think, within a couple of weeks, because you're going to start to kind of build that. And sometimes every day is not, possible. Maybe it's a couple times a week, but just start. And if you forget, don't beat yourself up about it. Just try it the next time you remember. And just honestly, a way that you might be able to do it is like Priscilla did, like she scheduled a break on her calendar. Maybe you schedule a meditation break on your calendar, and it's just 5 minutes. It'll happen every day at 10 a.m. or 8 p.m. or whatever time that you pick. And Rosalind had this great idea of tying it to something that you already do. So for me personally, when I wake up, I stretch a little bit in bed before I even get out of bed, just to make sure how am I feeling. Because sometimes you sleep funny and you might have a little crick or something. But if you just get up out of bed, you don't even know kind of like what's happening. So you kind of feel things out. And then I just sit up in bed, but my feet are on the floor. I'm sitting on the bed, my feet are on the floor, and I just pause. And I assess kind of how am I feeling in this moment. And I do my meditation practice right there. I didn't even get out of bed yet. Some people leave and go someplace else. Some people do it before bed. But if you attach it to something that you do every day, so like brushing your teeth or having your tea, like if you do something ritually every single day, that's a way for you to connect it, to create that habit. And you know that you have to do something for like 20 plus days in a row for it to become a habit. And there are other ways of practicing mindfulness, right? So mindfulness is not just meditation. You could do mindfulness through mindful eating, which means you're not sitting at your desk eating. You step away, you go someplace else. You don't have any electronics on, and you are tasting the food in your mouth. And you are, being really thoughtful about what you're putting into your mouth, right? You could do mindful eating. And the other way that I practice mindfulness that I think others could probably benefit from hearing is we are emotional beings. We have impulses. When you get that email that triggers you and you are pissed off, do not respond right away and press send. I implore you, type the email, save it to draft, leave it for an hour, come back, and then reread it. And then say, am I saying something that's helpful, that's useful, that's kind? And you might change how you write something, or your tone might come across a little bit differently if you take the moment to reflect on what you're writing before you immediately send a response. Or better yet, you might send a response, pause, put it in draft, and someone else already responded, and it's not even your problem anymore. Those are the best ones, because then you don't even have to respond. You can just delete the email and move on. But
That's a
sometimes
huge,
writing that impulsive email and saving it as draft, yes, it can make a difference. So if you take nothing away from this whole thing that we taught you, you write an email, save it to draft, come back in an hour, you might save yourself a little bit of a headache down the road. And
and then
maybe others have
I'll add one
responsive. Yeah.
related to conversations at work, because sometimes you're in a meeting and you need to participate, and or even like in the situation with the manager I was telling you all about before, you can start to notice yourself getting upset or worked up about something, and then ask yourself, well, first you can notice, like, get in touch with your body and notice that you are becoming upset. Then ask yourself, why is this upsetting me? And you can also ask yourself, do I need to respond? And if so, then you can craft a
Choose
response.
how.
Yeah. But sometimes it doesn't need to be you that says something. You know, is this something for me to address, or do I just let it lie? But these are things that it's like you almost turn it into a game that you play with yourself. What am I feeling? What am I thinking? Why am I thinking that? Is it really up to me to address it or not? So you have this whole dialogue going on in your head.
Yeah. If there's anyone that has a regular meditation practice and you have a tip that has been helpful to you and you want to share, please feel free to share with the group, right? I always love these types of conversations because we can all learn from each other.
Or if anybody has additional questions that have come up for you.
So Q&A. Does anyone have any other questions that you would like to share with us?
I was really late. So was this recorded so I can go back and see your wisdom in the beginning?
Yes, Mark. We recorded it and we will be posting it. So you'll see a recording. We're going to post it to our YouTube channels and we'll send you a link.
I have a question. Do either of you offer meditation classes? I believe Gina does. I went to yours once a long time ago.
Yes. I am currently on a break because I was trying to figure out my new work schedule. But I will start to do some regular meditation classes, hopefully on a weekly basis. So stay tuned on that. Rossalyn?
I also have a weekly class. I actually make it concurrent with our Friday ones, but if you're interested in another instance, I'm happy to talk about doing that. And then on a monthly basis, I have a meditation and journaling workshop where I'll share one element of wisdom from the body of yoga or Ayurveda. So there's a learning portion, then meditation and journaling.
That's
And I
nice.
do that on a monthly basis, usually on a Sunday around 7 p.m.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if you put I think everybody signed up for this with their email addresses. If you want to be on our email list, you can just, let us know. If you're from medicine, I won't put you on my email list unless you send me your personal email. I'll just tell you that. But anybody else.
Yeah, and I'll also share that I have a YouTube channel, and right now there are over 100 meditation videos on there that you can follow along with. So if you need something ad hoc, I have a lot of content, and I currently have content scheduled through mid-July. So I post twice a week new meditation sessions. If you want, if a live doesn't work for you because of your schedule and you want to listen to it later,
Okay. I see you, Priscilla. Thanks.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions they want to share? Yeah, thanks, Priscilla.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to thank you both for sharing and inspiring. Yoga playing a crucial role in your journey to overcome some type of adversity, whether it be a health issue or just something that you do on a daily basis. It proves to your resilience and dedication, which you can totally see in fruition nowadays. So thank you for helping, hoping and giving others motivation that might be facing similar challenges but don't know how to face them. And so I look forward to hearing from both of you in the future.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Well, we're at the 58 mark, so we'll give you this is how you can get in contact with us. Some of us are already connected on LinkedIn, but I have my personal, Gina's got her company page there, so make sure you go follow all the socials, all the things, and we will let you all know when the recording is ready, when it's up.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We hope
it was great. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for staying in touch and thanks for coming. And yeah.
I wanted to see if it, it gave me confetti.
See, it doesn't do that for me. How come that does it for you? Am I not like?
I didn't set that up. It just popped up.
See? It's like celebrating. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. Maybe I'm on my
like action activated.
Maybe my settings are not set up for that.
That's funny.
Take care.
They're on business.
It's okay.
But thank you, everybody. Really appreciate you all joining.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks.
Good seeing you.
Good seeing you. Thanks,
Bye.
Nick. It's been a while. Take care.
Yes, stay well.
You
You
too.
too.
Take care.